All right, everyone. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at 5 important properties that we need to know to be able to solve problems within this chapter. So let's take a look at property number 1. So we can see in property number 1 that an inscribed angle subtended by the same arc of a circle are equal. So a few key definitions there. We got our inscribed angles, which we've talked about already. Subtended, which is a definition that we can see in our website, on the same arc of a circle. So key ideas with this one is that inscribed angles subtended by the same arc of a circle are equal. So let's take a look at that and how that looks on here. So our two inscribed angles, we've got angle ADB is an inscribed angle, and AEB is an inscribed angle as well. And to be subtended by the same arc indicates that they share these 2 points right here, and they share the same arc. So these two inscribed angles, here and here, indeed are subtended by the same arc. And what we know about those is that they are indeed equal if that is the case. So if this one, as stated, is 35, then we know that this angle is also 35 degrees. Okay, so two inscribed angles, inscribed angle, inscribed angle, subtended by the same arc of a circle, which indeed they do, are equal. If we know one is 35, we know the other is 35. Let's take a look at property number 2. Again, we're dealing with inscribed angles, but what we're going to do is we're going to add a central angle to that. So property number 2 states that the measure of a central angle is equal to twice the measure of the inscribed angle subtended by the same arc. Now what that means is that if we have our inscribed angle here, and we know that that is 35 degrees, and we have a central angle here that is subtended by the same arc, so they share the same endpoints, we know that the central angle is twice that of the inscribed angle. So the inscribed angle we can see is 35 degrees. That means that our central angle is 70 degrees. And the opposite can be true. If I were to erase this and we could change this problem slightly and indicate that we didn't know what that inscribed angle was, and if I said that this was an 80-degree angle, then because this is a central angle, subtended by the same arc as this inscribed angle, then we would know that is now not twice as much, but half as much. So now that inscribed angle is 40 degrees. And from property number 1, we know that if this inscribed angle is 40 degrees, we also know that this inscribed angle is also 40 degrees. Okay, and some key ideas here with property number 2 are a central angle is twice the measure of an inscribed angle subtended by the same arc, which we just discussed. An inscribed angle is 1/2 the measure of a central angle subtended by the same arc, which is basically just the opposite. If we know the central, we can figure out the inscribed. If we know the inscribed, we can double it to figure out the central. The third key idea here with property number 2 is that when the inscribed angle is subtended by the diameter, and that's what this diagram here refers to, if we look at a diameter, because it's the distance through the center, and there's our center point. Sorry, let me read this again. When the inscribed angle is subtended by a diameter of the circle, there's our diameter, right here, the inscribed angle is equal to 90 degrees. So in this case, I'll change colors. This is our inscribed angle, and it must be 90 degrees. And the reason we know that it's 90 degrees is because it is always going to be half of what the central angle is. And this diameter right here, straight line, must be 180 degrees. Therefore, the inscribed angle is going to be half that. And the opposite is true. If we know that this inscribed angle is 90 degrees, then we know that the central angle will be 180. But anytime we deal with a diameter, like this line here, we know that it's going to measure 180 degrees. If they are subtended by a diameter in the circle, the inscribed angle that is, we know that it'll always be half that measure. And that's a summary or an explanation of properties 1 and 2. Thank you.